The film opens with 4 people walking towards a house, and they are presumably dressed up for Halloween. We can clearly tell that all 4 of them are not normal people and that they are up to no good. Then, a homeless man is seen walking into a house as a news reporter talks about a brutal case. She claims that there was a massacre in the house where the homeless man is walking and explains that the police haven't found the culprits yet. They announced a curfew and told everyone to stay away from the house because of the incident. This was considered one of the most brutal incidents, which is why no one is allowed to go to that house. Just then, the homeless man goes further inside this house and starts to look around, and as he keeps walking, he gets his foot stuck in a bear trap. He keeps screaming, but no one can hear him, and eventually, he manages to break free. Suddenly, he feels a presence, and we see an axe that hits him and ends his life. After this, we are introduced to a group of friends who are looking for a place to hang out and party. The main reason they are trying to find a place is because 2 of them, Sarah and Haley, want to get married, and they want to do it normally with their friends. Sarah knows a very strange man named Armando, and the rest of the group does not know him, but Armando claims that he can take them to a great abandoned place. He takes them to the same house where we saw the homeless man, and all of them casually walk inside, not knowing that the place is not safe. One of them, Laren, is a little afraid to go inside, but his girlfriend, Tracy, and their other friend named Dave convince Laren that nothing will happen and that they will just enjoy themselves. But little do they know, Laren now walks inside with Tracy, Dave, Sarah, and her soon-to-be wife Haley, but as they are walking on the stairs, Laren suddenly stops again. They tell him to come upstairs, but he is in shock because he sees a woman that the rest of them cannot see. The woman tells Laren that he must perish to save them all, but Laren does not understand what he just witnessed. When they all call for him again, he ignores the woman and walks upstairs as well. As they go there, Sarah and Haley go inside a room, and when the other 3 try to enter, Armando stops them and tells them that he only needs the 2 of them for what he is about to do. Inside the room, Armando has turned off the lights and they can barely see anything as they keep laughing, thinking that Armando is just joking with them. He keeps saying odd things and tells them that they need to do whatever he asks them to do without any questions, and both of them agree, still thinking that it is a joke. They stop laughing once they see that Armando is holding a knife, but he makes it clear that the knife is not for them. He cuts it off on the hand just a little and claims that they need to taste the stardust as he forces them to taste just a little drop of their blood. Not wanting to, but still having no choice, both of them taste the blood and get a little creeped out as they now seriously ask him what he is doing. He starts to poke them while still saying strange things about the universe, and both of them fail to comprehend what he means by all of this. As both of them hold their hands and hope that nothing bad happens, Dave opens the door and leaves Laren and Tracy behind him. Armando looks at them and welcomes them since he claims that he has been expecting their arrival. The 3 of them also find Armando very strange as he calls them in and tells them to hug each other, because he has made all of them brothers and sisters. Once everyone is done hugging each other, he tells Sarah that she can kiss Haley now. All of them think that Armando was just joking all this time because Sarah wanted a strange ceremony for the wedding, and Armando knew that, which is why he did all this. But what he did there was no joke, and he goes away while saying good luck because according to him, they will need all the luck they can get for what is about to happen to them. As he walks out of the room, one of the girls we saw walking towards the house earlier is coming up the stairs right towards Armando with a knife. Her name is Anna, and she comes near Armando with the knife as he brings up the fact that he brought her and the others just as they wanted. This makes it clear that Armando has something to do with Anna and the others we saw at the start, to save his own life. Armando brought them more people to slaughter, but Anna shows no mercy as she drops the knife, but still keeps coming closer and closer to Armando. In the end, she corners him and ending his life without honoring their deal. After that, the friends group separates for a while, and Sarah wants some alone time with Haley because she wants to give her the ring. The other 3 decide that they will go to a room and start the party and wait for Sarah and Haley when they are ready to come back. All alone, Sarah and Haley start to kiss, and Sarah gives her the ring as both of them agree that they will spend their entire life together. As they finally get married, a random strange old man appears out of nowhere and starts to talk about a woman named Philomena. Sarah is confused by this, so she pushes the old man away and tells him that there is no one named Philomena there. But the old man keeps thinking that Sarah is someone named Philomena. Both of them then leave the room and go away, hoping that they never get to encounter this man again because he is clearly mentally. On the other hand, Dave, Laren, and Tracy enter a room where Dave turns on the lights. As they all sit down, they see 2 other people named Tony and Serena who are also there, and they are the same people who were with Anna at the start of the movie. The odd part is that no one can see Tony and Serena, but he and Laren just sits there, staring at them and thinking whether both of them are real or not, because Dave and Tracy can't see them. Both of them then get up and go away as Laren is still perplexed by what he just witnessed. Tracy notices that Laren is distracted by something, so she tells them to loosen up and enjoy a little bit because they should be happy their friends just got married. Before they sit down, Dave finds a radio and plays some music while Tracy finds some old bottles and decides that they should all drink. Dave pulls out some cups, but they think that they should wait for Sarah and Haley who are still in the bedroom. So, they decide to wait for them and start the party later when Sarah and Haley arrive. During this, both of them return and sit with the other 3 as they start to drink and talk. After talking for some time, Sarah thinks that they should play music and actually start partying. As they are dancing to music, Haley and Sarah think that it has been some time, so they should get back to the bedroom and do it. As they leave, Dave tells them to not leave him with the losers, and Laren gets very offended. He does not take the joke well and wants to leave, but Tracy wants him to stay and have fun. Just as they are arguing, the fourth person who was with Anna at the start of the movie, Caroline, shows up with a knife, and this time all of them can see her. She throws her knife at Dave and it jabs him in the back as he falls down, terrifying the other two and confirming that it is not Laren's imagination. While Tracy tries to save Dave, Laren knows that something is horribly wrong, so he grabs her and both of them run as the old man Sarah and Haley encountered earlier also comes there. He can also see these people, but he still keeps talking to someone named Philomena, and even Caroline is confused about who the old man is talking. Meanwhile, Dave is still pleading for his life on the ground when Caroline goes near him and tells him that they will hunt his friends and that all of them will die. After saying that, she goes away while Dave, desperate for help and fighting for his life, crawls out of the room while bearing the pain. As he keeps crawling, Anna comes there with a knife and Tony is also there as he starts to talk. From his talks, it is clear that all four of these people are ghosts, which explains why people are unable to see them, unless they want people to see them. Then, Dave reaches a point where all four of them surround him as he sees a rope right in front of him. In his last breaths, they put the rope around his neck and passes away. Meanwhile, Sarah and Haley are in the bedroom where they are getting it going and are ready to do it. Suddenly, the old man barges in and Sarah is infuriated by this. She pushes him out of the room and suddenly Anna walks in with her knife. Sarah tries to push her away, but Anna chokes her and picks her up with only one hand, which shows that these ghosts have super strength as well, so trying to fight back is useless. She throws Sarah away and moves on to Haley. Anna stabs Haley in the stomach with her knife, and as Sarah watches this, Anna slowly pushes the knife deep inside. Sarah is in shambles as she screams as loud as she can and cries in sorrow, knowing that she cannot do anything about this. Feeling agonizing pain and overwhelming emotions, Sarah does not want to, but has no choice but to leave Haley and run away. Sarah is running away when she bumps into Laren and Tracy, who are running from Caroline now, and goes after Laren and Sarah as Tracy gets separated and Caroline goes after Tracy. Meanwhile, Haley gets up from the bed as she is covered in blood and makes her way outside, where she eventually sits down and slowly passes away. In the meantime, Tracy manages to run outside of the house and goes far away, but she trips and falls down. When she falls, a tree branch accidentally cuts her leg, which slows her down a lot. She gets up and starts to limp while desperately trying to leave the place and calling for help. Suddenly, Caroline comes, and she is now following Tracy with a chainsaw as she craves nothing but blood. Tracy keeps trying to run away while begging for her life, but in the end, as Anna watches, Caroline throws Tracy down while approaching her with murderous intent. Her chainsaw goes through Tracy's guts as she passes away as well. The only survivors left now are Laren and Sarah, who are still inside the house. Sarah is freaking out and is losing her mind, which is a normal response in this intense situation. But Laren does not seem shocked by this. He tells Sarah that all of her friends, including her lover, are gone, and that they need to stay together and survive this. He also figures out that someone is hunting them one by one, so they need to stay sharp so that they can walk out of this mess alive. Just as they are talking, the old man comes again and he starts speaking. He refers to them as guests and claims that they will be turned into dinner, and also mentions that he was not aware so many guests would come, but he will manage to cook them anyway. While talking like a crazy person, he grabs his head as he starts to remember something and tells Sarah and Laren how they can survive this. His good side shows for a moment as he explains how they need to hide in the attic and choose the right moment to get out and run away from this house. Having no other choice and not knowing what they should do, they think that following what the man says is the best option since he has been here longer than they have. They follow him as he shows them the attic, but Caroline comes there and gets angry at the old man for helping their prey. Before she can get to them, Laren manages to get inside the attic, but Sarah is unable to make it. Caroline comes in there and throws Sarah on the ground. She also starts yelling at Laren to come out of there and face her like a man. As she is busy yelling at Laren, Sarah takes the opportunity and runs away from there. As she is running away, she eventually reaches a corner where she starts to scream in hopelessness because she knows that she cannot run anymore and that they will get to her ultimately. She sees Caroline standing and looking at her as she runs towards her, but still chooses to spare her life. She grabs her head and hits it on the wall just so she goes unconscious. Meanwhile, Laren is still in the attic when Tony appears there out of nowhere. Laren is still certain that a portion of what's been happening is in his head, which is why he still thinks that Tony is in his head and that ghosts are not real. But Tony confuses him even more by saying that maybe he is real and Laren is a figment of Tony's imagination. He makes his point very clear that no one can tell what's real or what is fake, but Laren still chooses to ignore him. Then, when he reveals some personal details about Laren, he gets shocked because not many people know him that well. This just results in him believing that all this is in his head even more. After talking with Tony and ignoring almost everything he just said, Laren gets out of the attic, thinking that everything is this quiet, so he might have a chance at escaping. He comes down and sees a knife that he instantly takes and starts walking forward, hoping that he can get out of this place. Unfortunately, his luck eventually runs out as Anna and the others surround him, and Anna knocks him out with a brutal punch to the face. Both Laren and Sarah now wake up in the kitchen where they are tied up to chairs and forced to watch as the old man, who is now a chef, cuts up the body and cooks her for dinner. The chef keeps talking to them, but Sarah keeps screaming and cursing at him for doing this to her and her friends. The chef makes an observation. Sarah is screaming, which he finds annoying. while Laren is very quiet so he likes him, which is why he will take Sarah's life first. As Sarah still keeps yelling at him, Tony and Serena appear out of nowhere like ghosts and start talking to the chef. Sarah asks him who he is talking to, which makes it clear that Sarah cannot see Tony and Serena, but Laren can see them without them wanting him to, which means that there is something special about Laren. Both of them then go away as he tells them that he will call them once dinner is ready. As the two leave, the chef starts to lose his mind as he sees another version of himself who is helping him cook. This only shows that the chef has deep-rooted psychological issues, which give him two personalities, which is why he helped Sarah and Laren hide earlier. His other version keeps yelling at him as it tells him to cook better. Meanwhile, Tracy is also alive in his head and thinks that he is talking to her as well. Now, Sarah and Laren are looking at this and both of them are freaked out because they know that their time is almost over and they can get slapped anytime soon because the lunatic is not saving them. As the chef keeps talking to himself, Caroline and Anna walk inside the kitchen, and this time, Sarah can also see them. Caroline starts yelling at the chef for some reason, but when Sarah sees Anna, she gets extremely mad because she recognizes that Anna is the one who ended the life of Haley. Despite knowing that there is no way of getting out of this, Sarah still viciously claims that she is going to end the life of Anna. Caroline comes closer to Sarah, and when she asks why all of them are even doing any of this, the chef elaborates that the answer is very simple. All of them crave blood, and the only thing they need and want is blood. They will take as much blood as they can, which is why they have to take the lives of Sarah and Laren as well. Caroline comes closer and starts to describe the last moments of Haley's life just so Sarah feels the pain of losing her even more. Caroline claims that Haley felt pleased while she slowly passed away and that Sarah will feel the same pleasure her wife did. After saying this, she leans in and bites off Sarah's ear while she screams. Caroline then moves on to Laren, who is still very quiet about all of this. Caroline also explains how she gutted Tracy with a chainsaw, but Laren remains unaffected by it, so she does not do anything to him. Serena then says that she likes Sarah, so Anna walks over to her knowing exactly what she has to do. She cuts off one of her and tosses it to the chef as Sarah loudly screams in excruciating pain. The chef puts her broth because he mentions that he does not want to waste anything. Anna then asks for a knife since it is time for Sarah to go because she has suffered enough. The chef hands Anna the knife as she slowly walks towards Sarah, while Laren also starts speaking and pleads that she spare her life. But Anna already knows that after putting Sarah through this, Sarah slowly passes away as Anna comes close to him, but she does not hurt him just yet because they have bigger plans for him. Caroline moves and throws Anna a mask that she wears and keeps staring at Laren. Caroline tells the chef to leave the dinner and be ready because the grand finale is about to happen. What this means is that all of them are now going to play a fatal game with Laren since he is the last survivor. As the chef grabs the chainsaw and the rest of them are also ready, Anna opens up Laren and hands him a knife. She makes the instructions simple and clear while explaining that he has exactly 60 seconds to run away from this place with the weapon he is given. After 60 seconds are over, all of them will start to chase and hunt him down. For Laren, this is the best opportunity he can get, so he instantly takes the knife and makes a run for it. He manages to go outside but falls on the ground while putting his hands on his head because he is still not sure whether all of this is in his head or not. The chef comes there with an axe and Caroline also appears with an axe. As the two keep staring at Laren, he runs back inside where he again stops and feels that there is something wrong with him and that all these people are just a piece of his imagination. He walks further inside where he sees some mannequins and he starts to hear his friends' voices in them. As he hears Tracy and Sarah's voices, he starts to think that these mannequins are his friends and that the other ghosts are also inside his head. While he is fighting these thoughts, one of them comes there, so he runs away even further inside the house. All of them now enter the house with their own weapons and they know exactly where he went. They go through the room with mannequins and find him, but he gets out of there and runs toward the roof. He climbs the stairs as a last resort, as all of them follow him to the roof and make it clear that there is nowhere else he can run to. This is his last moment. However, they are perplexed to see that he is already on the ground and screaming while holding his head and still contemplating what's real or not because he is losing his mind. But all of them are now confused to see that instead of screaming, he is now laughing. Caroline becomes curious. So before they attack him and end his life, she asks him why he is laughing. He looks at them and expresses how he sees everything clearly now that his life is ending. He claims that all of this is in his world, so he must perish to save everyone else. After saying that, he uses the knife he was given earlier. This means the ghosts were a part of his imagination, so he had to end his life so that they could stop hurting other people. The movie then starts to rewind, and it goes all the way back to when all of these ghosts entered the building, meaning that he imagined all of them from the very beginning, and he now just so all of them could also perish and never hurt anyone ever again. Here, this movie ends.